Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank all of our witnesses, but particularly the family members or the victims themselves in the case of Officer Campbell. I have not met any of you personally prior to today, but I feel like I know you. I've spent 12 years as Attorney General in our state. I spent a lot of time with families who have lost everything. I always made a point to sit down with families before we made charging decisions or plea decisions or management decisions on a case, because I thought that was important to understand as we were acting on behalf of the state of Kansas within the boundaries of the law and the evidence that was in front of us. So I want to thank you for stepping forward and express my unbelievable sorrow with you, even though we've not met before today. You know, I don't know how it is here in North Carolina. I'm learning how it is in Washington, D.C. when we debate criminal justice policy, but I'll tell you how it was in Kansas for a lot of years when I served in public policy roles. Our legislature would say all the right things, including me when I was serving there. And then it would come crunch time, and it was time to make numbers fit, and it was budget time, and we always ended up in the public safety context in a conversation about bed space in our prisons and the cost of managing inmates or offenders on the back end. And then we had very smart people, and I say this genuinely, like Mr. Asher, who I've not met before, but I've heard his presentation through a lot of smart folks that sit and crunch numbers, who tell us how to back into public safety decisions. And then we would make those decisions, and I'd often vote against them because it ended up with the decision being that you had decided how many people you were willing to pay to correct, and then you were deciding who went to the top of the list to be corrected. And everybody else wound up on early release, they wound up on work release, perhaps they wound up with a cashless bail option. We didn't have that in Kansas. We repelled that. I always thought that was backwards. I always thought you ought to sit down with individuals who had lost a loved one or who were themselves victims of crime. You ought to make policy decisions based on what you thought justice was in an individual case, and then you ought to make resource decisions based upon what your policy decisions were on what justice demanded. And I thought that was correct even as a fiscally conservative guy, because I think public safety is a core function of state and local government and of the federal government within our boundaries. And so I guess I would just ask, I'm going to start with Ms. King, because she's worked the system as a prosecutor. I mean, do you share that general philosophy that we ought to decide who we need off the streets first, then figure out what it costs, as opposed to deciding how much we're willing to spend and then figure out who we can get off the streets with the resources available?
I think the criminal justice system is dependent upon who commits the crime. And so who commits the crime is who the resources, whether that's investigation, prosecutorial, that's how those resources are allocated, working cases against the individuals that commit the crime.
Officer Campbell, how about you? You've seen both sides of the system now.
Because I don't know where you want me to begin.
Wherever you think is appropriate.
We sit here and we allocate funds and time and equipment to arresting one person. Go through the system, they're already back out. They commit another crime before they have their court case. Now you got 2 court cases. And it just keeps piling up. So that would be my experience in this whole thing.
Mr. Woody, you deal with a particular slice of the offender population at a particular moment in time. Any thoughts on that general approach?
I think the general approach would be that there has to be some sort of accountability for the offender. We start with the accountability at the date of arrest, and the accountability follows them throughout the duration of the charge, so the snowball effect doesn't begin. I think cashless bail has no accountability for the offender. They're released 1 day, 2 days, 3 days with no consequences, versus secured bail. If they go through a secured bail process, they have family, someone with collateral, someone with skin in the game to verify that they go to the court system.
Mr. Federico.
The safety of the community has to come first. And if that is putting somebody in prison right away and not letting them go until it's ready as far as their hearing, you have to think of the community first. Nobody thought of the community first. 30 29 arrests, 25 felonies. Come on. Seriously. Who can possibly explain that to me? No. So it has to be, you put them in there, we'll worry about it later, we'll figure it out. Simple as that.
Amen, sir, and I believe I'm out of time. I would ask Ms.
apologies.
Alderman, but I'll leave it to the chairman on that.